Yeah, Third String Podcast. You already know. Talking topics, all sorts. Always everything sports. Third String Podcast. Plenty dialogue and banter. Talking all teams. But we always repping for Atlanta. Come join the discussion. You don't want to miss it. Keep it entertaining. All facts, authentic. NBA to NFL. And everything in between. This is Third String Podcast. Welcome to the team. Let's go.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls? We are the Third String Podcast, back with another jam-packed episode with another wonderful, different format that you guys are going to be very interested in.
Yeah.
Episode 53.
Yes.
Daryl, did you already have somebody marked?
I did.
What?
I did.
The man is prepared. Who is this one dedicated to? 53.
I was going with Daryl Dawkins for obvious reasons.
Okay, solid.
I decided to go with Bill Romanowski, 4-time Super Bowl champion, number 53. That's the one.
Went right over my head. I'll take that.
That's who I decided to go with. I just wanted Daryl Dawkins for obvious reasons. There was no real reason other his name. So
you know what's funny about him?
What?
It's the one person like my mom doesn't like. Well, not true, but back in the day, that was she doesn't like some other people too. She's gonna hear this. Hello, mom.
Hey, mom.
Yeah. No, I think she has a story that she always would tell, that she would go and meet different people, like at a game or whatever, and as a fan, and try and say hello, can I get an autograph, whatever, since she's big into sports. And he said no.
Oh, wow.
And she always told that story.
Wow.
So, mom, if you're listening, I wonder if you still remember that story. Yeah.
I have the same issue with Evander Holyfield, so I understand that. Because
it's weird. It changes your whole perspective. That's the big thing that they always say. Not saying that was like her role model, her idol, or anything like that. But even if you're a big fan, don't meet your idols. Like, we already know. Don't, like, a lot of people don't meet Michael Jordan. Like, we've heard strong rumors, and also, honestly, from seeing that documentary thing, I'm good.
Also, if we want to talk locally, Michael Vick, I heard that it was a lot of rumors. He was
really?
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure back then. Probably not now.
Then. He's not now, but back then.
I could see that because dude was on top. I know they have that 30 for 30 documentary on him, but like I feel like you really needed to dig into the Atlanta aspect of it. Like, what was his impact in this city?
No, they had a Michael Vick documentary, and it went into that because I watched it. And I didn't, we were younger when the whole Michael Vick experience, we were kids, but I didn't really understand the racial, like, it was like white people wanted him locked up and black people, it was like, I didn't really understand how strong that racial component was in the city.
Yeah.
We were kids at the time.
Yeah.
But that's
I remember though, like when it happened, and I forgot, we signed, I believe his last name was Pennington.
Oh yeah,
bro, so bad. I'm sorry. Like, we just went downhill.
We did Brian Leftwich. A lot of people after him was it was bad. It was bad. Which kind of adds us to our point of our topic today.
Yes, Daryl, what is our topic today, good sir?
Is Atlanta sports cursed? And we're gonna encompass, when I say Atlanta, we're gonna add the Georgia Bulldogs in, even though that's not Atlanta. We're gonna add them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're gonna add them in there. But is Atlanta sports cursed? And in the conversation, we both know how the Falcon season is going, but we couldn't even start off. We had a weekend that was dreadful. We had one weekend where the Braves were up 3-1, lost. Then the Falcons actually win. That's dreadful for people who wants to rebuild and all that.
Me included. I was low key like lose this because we need a rebuild. Let's not try and get wins to be 2-6 right now.
Right.
So,
And Georgia was up at halftime, was going blow for blow with Alabama. And as soon as the second half started, they did what Georgia does.
It's always with Alabama though, and them.
Yes, thing. They beat conservative, and Alabama is an exciting team with 2 first round picks. Probably Mac Jones. I've seen mock drafts where he's a first round pick.
I can see that now. He's really coming to his own.
Yes. And Stinson, the quarterback of Georgia, is just another Jake Fromm to me.
Yeah, I think Stetson?
Stetson, yes.
Stetson, yeah. He is exactly that. He is Jake. It's almost like they were roommates and he groomed him into being himself. Yes.
He's not going to lose you the game, but he's not going to win you the game either. He's not going
to win you the big ones. He'll manage like he has.
He'll manage.
You got to remember too, he's the third string quarterback.
Yes, he shouldn't. But then we have these dynamic quarterbacks. I know they started off bad. Also, the first Jamie Newman, was supposed to play, and I was really excited for him, but he opted out of the season because of COVID.
Which I respect. That'll be our next topic in the next podcast.
Yeah, which we do respect. But Georgia comes out, they're throwing it with them. Defense is playing good. They're attacking. As soon as they come out of halftime, they're playing conservative. They're running the ball.
And from what I'm hearing, and we'll enlighten the listeners on this, that already is the whole grand scheme of Atlanta sports, is exactly what you're saying. We prepare, we prep, and get ready for the games. And then halftime comes, they adjust, we're trash.
Something happens. And then so the very next drive after, I think Georgia goes basically 3 and out, because they were running the ball. They were just running.
Mm-hmm.
And then a big play to Alabama. It was like was it Smith? It was either Smith or Weddle. I think it was Smith. Big play to him. As soon as that play happened, I was like, this game is over with.
Yes, agreed.
This game is over with. After the end of the third quarter, I stopped watching it because this game was over. Because the problem is they did the exact same thing in the national championship game. The exact same.
That one was worse.
Yeah, it was worse. But it was the exact same thing. And that team was actually better than this.
Oh, it was. Yeah. Well, both teams were better on both sides.
Yes. Kirby Smart is the definition of insanity, where he keeps doing the exact same thing, it's like he's in love with these just possession quarterbacks that just manage games. It's like he's just in love with these. And you remember a couple of years ago, like 10 years ago, SEC was about the quarterbacks were just managing games. They weren't
very true. No top quarterback was going to come out. That was And if they did, they usually only had like a 2-3 year lifespan in the NFL. And now they're analysts. Yes.
They had so nobody had these dynamic quarterbacks, but then somehow they started to click.
Very true.
I need these dynamic quarterbacks.
Yeah.
And then they started doing it. So then the Tua came, the Jalen Hurts came. Like they start getting dynamic. And then Alabama was on another level.
Yeah.
Level.
They were complete.
Yes. And Georgia is still 10 years behind what the SEC is now. You saw Joe Burrow last year.
Yeah.
And I've been complaining about Jake Fromm the entire time.
This is true. Yeah. I mean, you're not lying.
The same thing happened. Like everybody was like, they were shocked at how low Jake Fromm went in the draft. I wasn't.
We weren't.
No,
we were.
No,
man.
You had Jacob Eason and Justin Fields, who are both physically more talented than Jake Fromm.
That's crazy. He beat both of them.
Yeah, and it's like you didn't even give Justin Fields a shot.
No, not a true and honest. Most teams. Most coaches actually, to me, don't give shots. The only person I've actually seen in a long time give a true and actual shot was Pete Carroll with
Russell Wilson.
Yep. There's no way, because they signed was it Flynn, right?
Yeah, Matt Flynn. Mm-hmm.
Matt Flynn to a 2-year big deal for somebody who was a backup to Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
Aaron Rodgers gets hurt. Matt Flynn does a great job managing. In the playoff, wins a little bit, then he becomes a hot commodity. Then they sign him to Seattle. Seattle needed a quarterback at that point. So they signed him to a big deal for a 2-year contract, especially for somebody who's a backup.
Right.
Then they draft Russell out of Wisconsin, which he played the majority of his career at North Carolina State, which I watched him. Nobody knew who he was, but I watched him and knew about him from, he transferred for grad school to Wisconsin 1 year, did good there too as well, which he did get in North Carolina State as well. What 3rd, 4th round draft pick. They didn't even show his name on the screen. It flashes at the bottom, and I get hyped. I notify my brother because he was living in Seattle at the time, and we loved Russell from North Carolina State. Then I guess training camp was awesome for Russell. Beats him out. Pete Carroll announces it. Boom. They almost they make a good run first year, second year, win the Super Bowl, third year, freaking 1 yard away from back to back.
Super Bowl. And now Russell Wilson is one of the best quarterbacks in the league.
Literally is unstoppable.
Because
but real quick, to me, he cost it. He cost it last game, bro.
Oh, really?
I'm sorry. And he wasn't making good decisions. A lot of you guys may debate with me on this. In that fourth quarter in overtime, he wasn't making top wrestle plays.
And you're talking about the game with Kyler Murray.
Yes, which was a great game. And look out for Arizona. They're coming.
No,
They're
Kyler
coming
Murray.
in the future.
Remember we used to make fun of how small Kyler Murray. I mean,
he still is
a small guy, but he's good. But Russell Wilson this is kind of what we're talking about, because Justin Fields leaves. Now Ohio State is one of the best teams in college football.
People say the best.
The first game.
He lights them up. And he never skipped a beat.
Yes. And this is what we're exactly talking about. This here is what we're talking about.
Georgia sports.
Yes. They were losing when LSU last year, when LSU was super good. LSU beats us, and that was they were blowing us out.
Yeah,
you had an opportunity at that point to put Justin Fields in just to see, and you did.
2 years ago.
Right.
Yeah, because Justin was there last year.
2 years ago. 2 years ago, and you didn't do it. You didn't do it. I don't understand it, man, and that's why
I don't understand this. I don't want to waste the red shirt. Yeah,
right.
That's the whole thing.
I just think I think we're done with Kirby Smart. Like I'm
already. Wow.
Yeah, I'm kind of done because I see too much Mark Richt in him, and
I can see that
doing the same exact thing.
Yeah, I can see that. So that brings me to, it's not just Georgia Bulldogs. Right. Now we can kind of segue into the rest of the sports teams. Now, did we not do this with the Falcons? We keep coaches for a long time.
The same exact thing.
And then you get complacent and you just keep, or you're relatively stagnant in what you want to do. You keep practicing the definition of insanity and doing the same thing and expecting different results. Then Quinn comes. You literally keep doing the same thing. But it's crazy. It's just a culture of like, why aren't we making changes when needed? For example, Seattle was in dire need without Clowney there. Seattle was in dire need of a pass rusher to like fill in this gap. So what do? They make a trade for Dunlap.
Right.
Great trade. Like you realize the time is now to win a Super Bowl again. Right. So let's fix what we need. And they did like the next 2 days. But us, I trust our guys. We're going to run with our guys. So like, what was that foolishness? I'm sorry. I'm about to go on a rant. Right. And we were terrible. So I don't like that we're afraid to hurt people's feelings. We're afraid to hurt people's feelings. But at the end of the season, we'll trade people. And then they end up becoming big stars.
You wanted to see a shakeup, and I thought it was just more of the same. Like Dan Quinn just gives you, and Thomas Dimitroff just give you more of the same. One thing I will give them credit. I thought this year's draft class, 2 people. I'm gonna say 2. No, I'm gonna say 3. 3 people. Well, no, 4 are at least contributing.
Yeah.
AJ Terrell, I think, is our best corner.
Yeah.
I love Walker, the linebacker. I really like him. The punter is. He's
the holder.
Yeah, well, he's the holder too, but he's playing well. And Jalen Hawkins, I think, is a wild card.
I honestly like our last 2. This past one and the year before weren't bad.
Yeah, I think Jalen Hawkins could start next year. I think we're going to clear house safety wise. And
I've been saying this now for 3 years.
Yeah. Other than Keanu Neal, because I think last game against Carolina last night, I thought he played very well. The funny thing is, when Dan Quinn got fired, if you just take these 3 games, our defense played way better.
Yeah.
Way better. Like, even you take the Lions game, which they still drove down the field with like 45 seconds left, 90 yards down the field. The defense still, for the most part, played much better.
Right.
Julio Aloakin, he's a player. Like, he's a guy you have to keep. There's a few people, I think me and you agree that they're probably cleaning house next year.
You need to.
Yeah.
You've even said it. Like, if you're over, what did you say? Over 30 or something?
Over 30, you're tradable.
Yeah.
You're over 30. Now, the only people who won't be tradable is Julio and Matt Ryan. And both of us kind of agree that we should move on from them. But the cap hit is too much.
Yes.
Trading Matt Ryan will cost $44 million against dead money against the cap. So he's not. So get past your head. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones are not going anywhere because of cap hit. But I'm talking. I'm looking at people like Alex Mack.
Yeah.
Pat McKinley.
Yeah.
Ricardo Allen.
Yeah.
KZ.
Yeah.
You know, it's people like this. Todd Gurley. It's people like these.
Oh, Todd ain't coming back.
He ain't coming back. And what's funny about Todd Gurley is I thought Brian Hill looks faster. It looks like it's a more speed game when Brian Hill is in the game, it's more slowed down when Todd Gurley is in the game.
Mm-hmm.
But Jake Matthews, I might be looking at you. Like, these are people who most likely will not be here. Dante Fowler will be here. He signed a big contract. He'll be here. Grady Jarrett's the best player on the defensive line. You can forget about them. Linebacker, I think you're straight. Cornerback, Kendall Sheffield, because he's young. Isaiah Oliver is playing better since Dan Quinn has left. So I would even keep Isaiah Oliver. And then you got AJ Terrell. I think free safety, that's why I said Jalen Hawkins will probably start next year, because I think AZ and Ricardo Allen are gone.
Yeah.
Like,
I agree.
Yeah, you have to clean. You have to clean this house in a sense that we have to. This era, this Matt Ryan, Julio Jones era, is dying.
Such a long period of time.
And then the funny thing about it is, it hasn't been as successful as in your head you think it is. Do you know how many times they won the division?
Once.
Past 8 years, 2 times.
Twice. Okay, so what? 2012 probably in 16.
16, yeah.
Yep.
So it hasn't been as successful.
Bro, that's like 4 years. That's not,
You know what I'm saying? You think it is. It hasn't been that great. Matt Ryan, and I told you this off camera. Matt Ryan, there was a person on social media. He was like, "Shout out to all the Matt Ryan haters after we won last night." And I was like, Matt Ryan didn't play well.
No,
he didn't. He was okay.
He managed the game.
Yes, but also Teddy Bridgewater didn't play well.
Bro. He looked bad to me.
Yeah, he looked bad, but like Julio played well.
Yeah,
Julio.
Oh, he had good numbers. Yeah.
Yes, Julio played well. But it's not like Matt Ryan. Like, he was a world beater. The thing is, this is what's most likely the scenario. There's going to be a new GM and a new coach coming in.
Yes, that's for sure. I don't think our interim coach is going to be the head coach.
No, but he's again, the defense is better.
And defensive coordinator. He
was a defensive coordinator.
I'm just saying,
terrible. But
whatever. A different regime and another leader, actual leader.
Yeah, but if he put a fire under his, I don't know what he's doing. Whatever he's doing, you can't argue they are playing better.
I think he has a fire up under him because he's the head coach. He has to do good.
Right. So we're going to have a new GM and a new head coach. But the thing is, what's going to happen is we're probably going to draft a quarterback. We're probably going to be, and this is the Atlanta curse we're talking about, we're probably going to win just enough to not be in the top.
Okay. Keep on track with the topic. It's either that or Daryl, we're not going to draft the quarterback.
At all. Yes. And we're going to have a coach who's just going to say, you know what? I believe in Matt Ryan.
Yep.
We're just going to have the same.
Yes. So you have that right there.
Right.
It's literally just every year we're going to be watching the draft. You and I will be texting, discussing it. And of course, we'll be updating it on our social media. But we're just going to be like, oh, we need these people, right? Or these positions, rather. We're going to probably fulfill the positions, but not the people we want. That keeps being the trend, minus the quarterback. I just don't believe we're going to get a quarterback. I have no faith in this franchise right now.
The only reason that gives me face because it's a new person picking the groceries. Like if it was still Thomas Mitchell here, then it's like we seen enough where we know who he is.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Because it's a new person picking, maybe that may, and depending on who the GM. I read that Lewis Reddick.
It depends on who the GM is. Yeah.
Like I heard that he wants, because he used to play for the Falcons. I heard he wants the job, is from what I read. Like I'd be excited for Lewis Reddick. So if it's somebody like him, then maybe I'm having more excitement. But I think we're like drained from it. Like
I'm already calling it. There's not a I think. I am.
Because we know how the rest of the year gonna go, right? We're gonna win enough games that we're not gonna make playoffs, but we're gonna not. It's gonna be like last year, where we're not to have a good pick. Like
just throw the season, man. I'm sorry. Like Matt Ryan's not going to contribute to that because if he throws the season, he's done. Yeah. So he's going to try as hard as you should. But I'm like,
because
it's not fun to watch. Have you watched our games? They're not fun.
Other than Calvin Ridley, maybe Hayden Hurst now. Hayden Hurst is also a keeper. But
other than that, man, it's not fun to watch.
It's not that fun to watch. But
it's not even electrifying.
Right. No.
I don't know. I think it's bad. It's almost like we literally are. We play as if we're a bottom tier team. Yeah. As we are. But we actually look like it. Like there's no pizzazz. There's no excitement. Like, bro, you remember 2016. Mm-hmm. Like we were never on TV. We have the channel locally, but like we weren't on prime time. They put us on the next year and we weren't good.
And then we got blown out by like
yeah. But the year we were dominant, man, we ran it up. Like that was such a great season. And passing, it was like you couldn't stop us. But now we're back to the old ways, and you shouldn't be screwed over by one coach. Yes, right. Shanahan left, but the culture and foundation should still be there.
Yeah, it's just the same old, and we're gonna do. We know where this story is gonna be. That if we're gonna lose, we're like lose, but we're gonna be so competitive that we're going to win. We're gonna go on a little winning streak, and we're just gonna knock ourselves off from.
Who do we have next?
We have. Let me look.
I know we have a little bit of time because we played on Thursday, and then we won't play again until the following Sunday. Denver. Okay.
So, and we should beat Denver.
We should beat Denver, but I'm like, stop playing. It's almost like it's gonna work out for them, where they're gonna play the perfect little window of teams that aren't as good, that make us look like we're doing something because we're beating them, and then it ruins everything.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, because that's what happened. That's exactly what happened last year, and this is why we're saying is Atlanta cursed, because we do stuff like this. Like we're not in the place where we can just tank, and that's what you're saying. Like tank, we're not in the place because we've signed all these high salary guys. Grady Jarrett's under a big contract. Deion Jones is under a big contract. Julio. Matt Ryan, Alex Mack, like all these people are under a big contract. You can't just cut them because then that's negatively against the cap, just like I told Matt Ryan. If it was like Jacksonville last year or Miami last year, when it looked like Miami was just giving players away. It would just give
they were.
and we can't be like that, because even though we're playing like a bottom tier team, our salary is a top tier team. And
that's so sad.
Yeah,
that's so sad.
That's the problem. That's a huge problem with us, that we play like trash, but we pay like we're a top team, and that's why we're kind of stuck in the position that we're in, and we can't fully move.
Do you think he's thinking about that?
Yeah, I think that's what contribute to them being fired, because I'm paying your players.
Yeah, you're choosing these people, saying that we should sign these people to this contract because he handles the contracts, the GM. And I'm saying, hey, you dish this money to this person. I'm paying that person who's not doing anything. There's no reason why, like, you didn't really care for him. Vic Beasley. Right. Why he was getting paid, and then you're looking at these numbers like, for what? Like, I pay you to contribute and do amazing things. You're getting paid as much or almost as much or more than some of these top players that are dominating in the league, and you don't even have nearly close to the numbers as these other people. But the sad thing is, there with that, we have a lot of people like that on our roster that aren't even coming close to other people who are getting paid less. Than that must hurt. You're relatively losing money.
Yeah, and look at like a Dante Fowler, who we were both excited when they signed Dante Fowler. He has 2 sacks right now, 2 sacks, and they brought him in because of the relationship with Dan Quinn. That what brought him into this. And my problem is I think he had 10 sacks last year with the Rams. I'm like, what is the difference? Is it just like
culture? I'm not gonna lie, it makes a difference. Schemes, coaching, plays, formats, everything. It's tainted, man. The Falcons whole thing, it needs to be gutted, carved out 100%. Not 100%, but like, you gotta trim off the dead weight, man.
Yeah,
you have to.
You got to trim the fat, and it's like,
you have to.
But the problem is, we're not in a position to trim the fat. You know what I'm saying? Like, we won't be able to trim the fat until probably. And when I say this number, like, don't just fall over. 2023, we probably won't be able to trim the fat because that's when Matt Ryan's contract is up. Now
that is insane. By the way, that every year we say to ourselves, how many years left? How many years?
And it seems like it grows, but it's 2020. It
does.
Now you can cut him, I think 2022, and I think the cap is not that much.
Bro, I'm sorry. Look, I got my calendar. I got that date circled.
But the problem is, people don't think like there's a line for Falcons fans. It's a line that it's either you like Matt Ryan or you don't. It's not. Yeah. It's not in the middle. And we have drawn the line. There's people like we like Matt Ryan.
Yes,
he's statistically the best quarterback in our history, but we're ready to move on.
There's a smidge of hope with him that I feel, and we've discussed this. If he has a great coach, he can do something. Now, if you get the coach, the offensive coordinator, like you said, from the Chiefs.
Yep.
Okay, if he can be what you believe in him to be, like we've seen, I believe he can. Matt Ryan, we've seen what Matt Ryan can do. If Matt Ryan can get a good coach again to be that, yes. But all in all, you have 3 more years left of Matt Ryan, and he is not being re-signed.
No, he's not.
Absolutely not.
Julio's not. When Julio's
he's not.
He's not.
No,
he's not fine, and he has 2 years left on his deal.
Yeah, he'll be gone.
Yeah, but it's like the cap hit is too much that you can't move on from these players. So you're stuck. You are stuck in this place until you are able to move on from the contract, because the NFL contract is weird. Like basketball, you could just trade contract. You could just trade them away.
Yeah, it's weird.
Basketball with the cap hit, because the Jets took a cap hit to cut Le'Veon Bell. When the Steelers traded Antonio Brown, they took like a over $20 million cap hit to do it. Like, so you can't just and the Falcons already are up against the cap without even doing it. So you can't make these trades and take those that dead cap hit.
Yeah.
You can't do it. So we are stuck. Matt Ryan and Julio, I think we're both fine with Julio. Yeah. But Matt Ryan is going to be here.
Real quick before, we move on from this part of the segment and talk about other Atlanta sports teams. How do you think, just like put yourself in position in 3 years? Let's say, is that at the end of the 2020 that 2023 season that it's his contract's up, or is it at the end of?
I think it's the end of
the 2023 season.
Right.
It would be. Yeah. Okay. So it's the off season. The 2023 season is about to start. He has his little press conference, and we all know this is his last year. Say they didn't cut him the year before. This is the last year. How do we feel? I feel like a lot of people are going to actually be very sad. I do. And I think that's rightfully so, because he's been there for a hot minute. Yeah. So I'm just saying, as a person, he's a very good person. And he's even earned way more respect in our light with you and I as of late with everything going on in the world.
Right.
But as a player, he's done good things. We're gonna miss him especially if we're not good right after, we're gonna miss him a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's a part of rebuilding. But I think he's gonna have his world tour. I don't know if he's gonna retire. I don't think he's going to retire.
I don't think so. I think he'd be like Phillip Rivers in 1 or 2
maybe
years.
do one or two more years, but he'll be close to retiring now. Right. Because he is financially set.
Right.
But that last year, do you think there's going to be like a sigh of relief?
Yeah. Well, it's going to be half and half. It's going to be people who,
because also, Daryl, real quick, what if there's no good quarter? What if we don't draft and there's no good perspectives?
That's what I was going to get at. Yeah. It's all going to depend on our plan to move on from Matt Ryan. If there's no quarterback, like we're kind of predicting, it's going to be no quarterback behind him to take his spot. It's going to be the "I told you so." See,
but when do you start? When is your max limit? I say this year you have to, but
no, I say this year. But if you're high enough to get one, like if
if you're not, when is your absolute max time frame? He has 3 years left.
It has to be.
When do you have to?
Has to be next year.
I agree with that. So the person would at least sit 2 years, 1 to 2 years.
Yes,
I agree.
Next year, and I think you only sit 1 year because I think you could cut Matt Ryan.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
And, the 2022 season, you could cut him, and you won't take that much of a cap hit. But it has to be at least 1 year. It has to be next year if it's not this year, because if we're
then ask that question: who is in that draft?
Yeah, well, I'll have to look to see, but let's just say for this draft, if you're high enough to get Trevor Lawrence or Justin Fields, you go for it. You have to go for it.
Yeah.
And then waiting, and that's why we're saying we're going to be good enough to have a mediocre draft pick that these people are going to be gone, or you have to trade up your whole draft capital to get there. And I'm against mortgaging your future for players. I'm completely against it. But that's what you'll have to do. And then so if you move on and there's no successor there's going to be the Matt Ryan lovers to say, see, you should have appreciated him while he was here, because now look at us. And then it's going to be the other ones that's going to be if we have somebody to see, they're going to have a sour relief, because just like Dolphins games, you're not excited to see Ryan Fitzmagic. You're not excited to see that, but what you're excited to see is Tua. Yes. What you're excited for the Bengals, you're excited to see Joe Burrow. The Chargers, you're excited to see Justin Herbert. You might not know who they are going to be, and you might be losing now, but you're still excited.
Herbert is doing so good. But
He's doing great. He's doing great. But these are the people that you're going to be excited for.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know.
Excited about. We're not exciting. I like Todd Gurley, but I just feel like the game is more electric when Brian Hill is the running back.
It is true. Yeah.
I think Calvin Ridley, I really like Hayden Hurst. It's just some things to like.
Yeah.
But for the most part, to be excited, I love AJ Terrell.
Yeah.
There's a monster. The linebacker core, Deion Jones and Foyer. I think those two is great. I think Walker's coming up. So we have some pieces, but to be excited about, if you don't have a quarterback, you ain't got nothing.
Yeah, I agree. No, it can literally change the whole dynamic. It's crazy. Well, they didn't change too much, because I think the Chiefs were fine with Smith.
Yeah,
they were fine with him. He was exciting. Yeah, but then you still went with Mahomes when you didn't have to. By the way, man, Smith has been through some things. If you think about his people that came after him that they drafted while he was there, you had Kaepernick and then Mahomes.
Yes.
And you were actually a good quarterback making wins.
But that shows that people still drafted at that position. No, you just
everybody with Brett Favre.
Yes.
And then Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers now with.
How many times the Patriots drafted a quarterback, even though they end up trading them?
Yeah.
They always were drafting quarterbacks.
That is true. Still preparing for the future, because you didn't know how long Tom had to play. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
We just we're so in love with, we're so just appreciative of Matt Ryan that how dare we even talk negative about him or even get competition because we should worship the ground he walks on.
It's almost like, to me, Daryl, that when you signed him on that contract, it's true. It's almost like we shouldn't even look for anybody else, because if the dude has 6 years, why am I prepping another dude?
Yeah, but
like I can understand 3 years out, but 6 years out, that person's 6 years older.
The team does just good enough to not need a quarterback. You know what I'm saying? To not put it as a desperate need.
Yeah.
They do just good enough. So last year was just good enough.
I mean, it absolutely was.
Say, let's just try this again.
But the absolute fact, you nailed it right on the head, is it starts this season, this off season, or next. It literally has to begin now, where you prepare for the future. I don't care if you're in love with Matt Ryan. This is for anybody out there. I don't care if you're in love with him. Everybody ages. Everybody has their time limit of how long they can play. Some people, go above that. Your Tom Brady's, even your Brett Favre's at the time. But Matt Ryan ain't going hard like those two dudes. I'm sorry.
But even the Packers did it with Aaron Rodgers. They just drafted Jordan.
But I'm saying, I don't care. But I'm saying, I don't care what any of those Matt Ryan lovers have to say. Right. His diehard fans, which is cool. I respect y'all. But that time is coming where you have to prepare for the future. He is not being resigned after that 2023 season max. He is not. Because what? He's 34, 35 now, you said?
Mm-hmm.
38?
Yeah.
You really think that we're about to have him for a hot 2-3 more seasons after that? Nah, man. He's already peaked a while back.
You're right.
We've seen his best. I'm sorry.
No, it's not even be sorry about it.
But will he be an amazing backup? Oh, yes. Like, the ones that'll coach in the ear of the young guy. Like, you want him. You want him to still be on the team. So re-sign him. Yes. Okay. Re-sign him, but you have to groom the new guy.
You have to get prepared for what's going to happen. Is these Falcons, who's Matt Ryan lovers, is that we're going to love Matt Ryan so much that when it is time to go, we have no replacement. We have no transition period. And then we're going to have these 3-4 seasons of not even mediocrity, just horrible, because we didn't do our due diligence, because we want to worship the ground that he walked on.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, Matt Ryan didn't play well last night. He did okay.
I think he'll be a great offensive coordinator. Like, if he decides to coach after, I really think he would be a good coach.
What about what he told Todd Gurley multiple times? I sent you the video multiple times to not score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Dude still scored a touchdown.
Real quick. I'm gonna, play the other side of this real quick. Yes. Okay, that's messed up, and we'll dive into that.
Mm-hmm.
But just real quick, nobody's talking about how the defense didn't stop them.
Yes. What are you talking about on that drive?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, it can't just be their fault, like Todd Gurley and then that. I get it, because that was easy. That was 100. That was like, honestly, I know a free throw is the hardest shot to make in basketball. It really is, because like all the attention. But if you're Steph Curry and you just load up and shoot it, that's easy money. It was easy money to just take a knee.
Mm-hmm.
The man had to try to stop, and it was hilarious to watch him try and not score. It's almost like his legs turned to noodles, and like he didn't know how to like run. Right. But the defense still could have done something.
I agree, but this is where I disagree with you.
I know you're gonna. No, everybody. There's nobody who agrees with me, but you're about to be the voice of the many. Yeah. But I'm saying, at the same time, I've said this: our defense is not good. Yes, we played better last game. We're still not good, and they still, like they have the whole season, sucked it up and weren't a good defense. So. But hey, whatever.
Why I disagree with you is two things. First of all, the defense, you just said, it's been trash all season. They ain't stopped nobody all season. I don't know why you thought this magical time they were going to stop somebody when they ain't did it all season.
So they get a pass because they suck all year.
Basically.
Okay.
The second part of it is, if the goal was to not score, why as a coach did you even run a play? Why didn't you just knee the ball?
Oh, that's That's true for one. Two, how smart of the other team to actually let them play or let them score.
What causes you, if the goal is to not score, why even put Ty Gurley in that situation? Now, granted, it's Ty Gurley's fault.
Yes, but you got to understand too, like his mindset. He is trained since a little kid to score for one, and two, as a running back, Daryl, you break that hole, and especially as an NFL player, you break that hole and you have that big of a gap and the end zone's right there. Not only are you taking it, that's stats, Daryl. That's incentive money. Like, think about that. That's extra income.
Okay, that's fine, but you also are now 1-6. So at this point,
I understand, but I'm saying he is trained. You got to understand the psyche of these people too.
Then even more, he shouldn't have been in that situation.
Oh, that okay. Then I'll just lean right on there. What you're just saying to the coaching, which we know the coaching has been abysmal.
You need the ball down, kick a field goal. We're not even in this situation.
We don't know how to kick field goals when we need to kick field goals.
And then also, I'm going to talk about coaching. There was a 4th and 5 play earlier in the game that he goes for it in 4th and 5, and he tries to throw it a hot route to Ito Smith. Ito Smith was wide open, but it got tipped, and of course, it was an incomplete pass. Why are we not taking points at that point? Like we were in the red zone. Just take the points, man.
We don't like that.
This is what I'm saying about coaching.
You didn't watch that Super Bowl?
I did watch it. I try to get it out of my memory.
You reminded me last episode, so I had to get you back, man. I'm sorry. But, I still haven't watched that again.
Yeah, but we just do bonehead stuff, man. And the question is, the answer is, are we cursed? For the Falcons, no. No, we're not cursed. We just do bonehead things. We continuously do bonehead things, and we're in the position because we're just good enough to be mediocre. And because we're stuck in mediocre land, we can't remember the Hawks. They were mediocre. They would make the playoffs, lose first or second round. And the Hawks were just like, forget this. Like, either we're going to be really good or really bad. And they got rid of everybody. Clean house and became really bad.
It was second round or bust every year. Yeah.
Yeah. So with this, we're just good enough to be mediocre that we're always stuck in this little niche. We're just stuck here. Yeah. We're going to compete against everybody. And we're gonna.
If you keep having the same coaches and the same players, you're going to do the same thing because that's what they do. Because they can't be changed if the same people are there.
But they blew leads with Mike Smith. Like, they weren't just Dan Quinn didn't create the art of blowing leads. They were blowing leads with Mike Smith too.
But we've had a lot of the players that we still have.
Exactly, same quarterback, same.
Yes,
Julio was there. Yes,
but in regards to the Hawks. The Hawks can relate, honestly, to what the Braves have done. In the playoffs.
Eastern Conference Finals, are you saying?
In the playoffs, even before. Let's take this back to basketball. 2008. Okay? The dynamic Big Three comes to town.
Yep.
Okay? We're a mediocre team. By the way, we had a negative record, Daryl.
Mm-hmm.
We had a negative record as the Hawks to make the 8th seed.
Yep,
we shouldn't even have been up in that thing. The East was so bad.
Right.
We had a negative record and still made the playoffs as the 8th seed. We venture on in, which I went to all those home games, by the way, of what I'm about to talk about. We go to and then welcome the Celtics, who, one of the best teams in history.
Right.
We welcome them here. And somehow it's supposed to be a cakewalk, right?
Mm-hmm.
It goes all the way. 7-game series.
Messed around and took them 7.
Messed around and took them 7 with, actually, I believe there were 2 chances to close them out. And you let them play. And guess what happened, Daryl? They went on to win the championship.
Not only Game 7, they blew us out. Game 7.
Yes, but I'm just saying, I don't worry about that too much because we shouldn't even have been in.
We shouldn't have been there. Yes, right.
No, but the plain fact we made the playoffs and then took them there that far. Yeah, it's crazy. And then the Braves last year, and then the Braves this year. Let's go back to football a little bit. what was it the year? Was it 2012 we lost against the 49ers?
49ers.
And where did they end up going, Daryl?
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl. Everybody we lose against either wins or makes it. There's the curse. We help teams. Also, I know this one hurts you a lot. It hurts me too. First of all, we should have won again last year with Atlanta United. We should have won. We should have had within a week and a half, I believe. You should have back-to-back parades.
Right.
Because the Braves should have won. Why, Daryl? Tell us why again. Why should the Braves have won? What was set up the most perfect setup ever?
The Dodgers lost.
It was easier than this year.
The Dodgers lost. We would have played the Nationals, who we beat up on throughout the regular season. We could have had a cakewalk into the World Series,
and then won it.
Yep.
But who won the World Series?
The Nationals.
The Nationals. What is going on? Like, is the moment too juicy? Is the moment too good for you guys to just be like?
And I'm glad we're on the Braves, because this is what I want to say.
Yes.
I did not watch the last two games, Game 6 and Game 7, because I saw where this. I just seen this movie before, and that was cool. I told you at the beginning of the playoffs, I wasn't excited. I told you at the beginning of the season, I wasn't excited about the Braves season, and the Braves did what the Braves do. So
we got excited when they actually made it this far.
Yeah, when they made it this far, we was up 3-1, and I was like, "Oh my God, this could happen." And of course, they did what the Braves do. The next day, I was watching sports radio, and the question was, did the Braves overachieve? Because they only had one bona fide starting pitcher. A bunch of players on this team are super young. Did they overachieve? And I'm like, we were up 3-1. Like, what do you mean overachieved? We were up.
We weren't supposed to go this far, even though to me we were, because even last year we were a good team.
We were better than we were last year. Yeah. If we're saying last year we should have won it, we were better.
Yeah, we were, but I agree with that.
How did
we fixed our pitching to a certain extent from last year. So yeah,
Freddie Freeman is about to might be the MVP of the league. How do we overachieve?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Like, to sit here and listen to sports radio and ask, do we overachieve? It's just like, I'm like, is our mentality messed up?
Yeah.
Miguel, we were up 3-1.
Yes.
Like, am I the only?
Not only that. The first time I believe we were up 3-1. Well, to close them out, I mean. So we were up 3-1. To close them out, the first go round to close them out. We only had, I believe, 3 outs left, and they came back.
Yeah,
it was I think it was the first or the second time to close them out. We had 3 outs left, and then they came back.
And then we played, and I think it was, you're talking about Game 5. Game 6 was the bullpen game, I think, where AJ Minter started, and I think he played 2 innings, and they pulled him. But because he's not used to going over, but he was winning. They were winning when they pulled him because they wanted to play this little bullpen BS. And oh my God, it's just like I don't get it, man. The Braves are of the Atlanta teams. The Braves are the best team. And to sit here and say after we blew a 3-1 lead, did the Braves overachieve? That for that to be the next question.
Yes.
Like, Azuña had a really good year.
Yes.
Ozzy Albies had a real good year. Danny I can't think
Swanson.
Swanson, thank you.
Yeah.
Had a really good year. To sit here and act like we overachieved.
Mm-hmm.
You know who didn't like the Braves got a way to get there. The Nationals last year found a way.
Yeah.
Find a way, man.
Yeah.
And we sat here and talking about, did we overachieve? I got to sit here and listen to radio and ask questions. Did we overachieve when we had a 3-1 lead?
We're sitting here asking those questions and then blowing leads rather than being a team where we could have been last year, like the LA teams this year, where we could have had 2 different sports win a championship. They're over there celebrating because they just won. The Lakers won, and then the Dodgers won. Like, what does that feel like? Can I get a taste of that, please? Like, what is that?
We could have beat the Rays.
We would have.
That's what I'm saying. Like if
it was set up, Daryl, to win it.
It was set up to win it. Last year was set up to win it, and it was 13 or was 11 or 13 innings in the first. I mean, runs in the first inning.
Yeah.
And we sit there like, I don't know, man. I'm done with baseball. The Braves have to do like some crazy moves for me this offseason for me to even be invested.
I think they've talks of what I've heard is some people that I've heard they want to sign back that were on 1-year contracts or whatever. Some of those people I'm like, yes, you should bring back.
Azuna, they should.
Yes. Him in particular. Him in particular was who I'm really referring to. He was on a 1-year deal, and they were talking about we would love to have him back. He's going to have more opportunities, more people calling his agent.
Absolutely.
But we should better lock that in. We better lock that in because he was so good, especially in the playoffs. That's who I want back. By the way, that guy looks like Kanye. It's weird. It's so weird. But yeah, you better have that man back. But I don't know. I'm hyped for the Braves, but you got to show me something. You got to show me something until the playoffs, man. We better have like 100 and something win record. For me to be excited, because that'll lead me to something on the level of the Dodgers, where it's like this is consistency and we have a chance to win every year.
I mean, I
don't want to be like the Braves of the 90s where we only won one, but we were going like every year.
Yeah. I mean, I guess if we want to put an example, the Dodgers, they've been
the top
be
that,
and they haven't won. This was
now
since 1988, and they've been for the past 3 or 4 years been the top team in the.
Bro, we are that. Now, let's say this is you said 3-4 years with them, which is true. Let's say we're on 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get it done next year, if not the year after, but next year.
But we're always sit back and saying, well, maybe next year if we clean this up, maybe next year we get started.
Daryl, they actually do something different than every other Atlanta sports team. Besides, United kind of does this a little bit. This year's kind of weird. Mm-hmm. Atlanta Braves do actually make the necessary moves to fix their issues. They try. They do try.
They just don't.
If you succeed, that's not our fault at the end. We tried. Right. If the formula doesn't work out at the end, the experiment doesn't work out, then that's not our fault. We gave an effort. Again, like Seattle sees that they can win a championship. We fix the issue. We need a pass rusher. It's the same thing. The Braves did the same thing. They fixed the issue. It's the Falcons that are just like, I'm running with what we got, bro. We're not fixing nothing. So the Braves do fix the problem.
They do fix it, but the result is still the same.
Okay, but I don't know how to put this, but like, you just keep working on fixing that issue, and eventually you'll get it right, hopefully.
I mean, you're right. You're right.
If you're this close, literally, look at this. Oh, if those watching or for those listening, we are literally just one tick over to winning a whole. We're not as far away as the Falcons. We're not as far away as the Hawks. We're not as, I don't know what the United are doing right now because it's just such a weird year for them. But we are literally one push, which to me it's pitching. You are 2 to 3 pitchers away, which is easy to get.
Starters.
Starters. Yes.
Because Matt Fried is fine.
Yeah, I agree.
Might be somebody.
I agree. I even think our closers could be. I don't know. It's weird.
Our bullpen is fine. I mean, we try. You're right. We tried to do with Cole Hamels.
We tried to do from last year to this year. You cannot tell me we didn't get better. Yeah, we were abysmal last year at pitching.
Yes, Cole Hamels got hurt. King Felix, he was signed. He opted out of the season because
such a cool name.
Yeah. He opted out because of COVID. So he did try, but it's just the same result.
Look, we signed what's his name? What's the dude? The
pitcher?
No, not pitcher. Sorry, I'm just thinking of players in general. Puig, Yasiel Puig.
Yeah, Puig.
And then he COVID, and then decided to But I'm saying, but look at us in general as a team. We're trying to like do better. We fixed our pitching. We did all this stuff. Yes, it didn't hold up in the end. It fell apart. Not as bad as it would have last year, but it fell apart. Now, what do you do this year? Look, we're already eyeing to keep what we have. Go pay some big money for some more starters. You have to drop some money.
Yeah, you have to, but also with the revenue coming in, will they be cheap? Who owns the Braves have been history of being cheap.
Are Georgia sports cursed?
Right.
I think the consensus says yes, but we got to find the source matter.
Yeah,
how
I think it's yes, but it's more. It's not a mystical curse that the
it's not. I think it's a. They get in a trance and they're like, coach is here, and they just make bad decisions.
Yeah, it's us. It's not us. It's us. Right.
But we need to break that. So they make good decisions that got them the coaching jobs. Right. So why are they now being so terrible here? So it's something going on here. So yes. But guys, thank you guys so much. Make sure you guys subscribe to us here on YouTube. Also follow us there on SoundCloud. Give us a nice like on both as well. Also on the screen here on YouTube, you can find our social medias to our individual stuff, and on the top of the screens, our social medias right there, and a link in the description down below for YouTube, SoundCloud, YouTube, all that jazz right there. But till our next podcast episode, which will be episode 54. 54, man. We will catch you guys next week. We are Third String Podcast. Again, we don't play in the game, therefore we talk about it.